Welcome to all sci-fi. What if time travel was commonplace? Imagine waking up tomorrow in a world where time travel is as common as taking the bus. Your neighbor just got back from dinosaur watching. Your boss is interviewing candidates from 2075, and your pizza was delivered before you even ordered it. Sounds cool, right? Well, buckle up, time hoppers, because today we're about to explore a reality where the past, present, and future are just as different as stops on your daily commute. And trust me, it's going to get wibbly wobbly, timey wimey real fast. Now, before you start planning a trip to see the Beatles live or grab those winning lottery numbers, let's break down what this wild world might actually look like. Spoiler alert, it's not all DeLoreans and phone booths. The science. Is time travel even possible? Alright, let's get our geek on for a minute. Time travel isn't just the stuff of H.G. Wells and Back to the Future. It's a concept that has been seriously considered by some of the greatest minds in physics. Einstein's theory of special relativity showed us that time is not a constant. It can stretch and squeeze depending on how fast you're moving. This led to the famous twin paradox thought experiment, where one twin jets off in a spaceship at near the speed of light and returns younger than the Earth-bound sibling. Technically, that's time travel to the future. But what about the past? Here's where things get, well, tricky. Some solutions to Einstein's field equations of general relativity, like the Gödel metric, suggest closed time-like curves, essentially paths through space-time that loop back on themselves. In theory, you could follow one of these and end up in your own past. The problem. Creating these conditions would require some pretty exotic stuff, like cosmic strings or regions of negative energy density. Not exactly something you could whip up in your garage. There are different theories too, like wormholes that could connect different points in space-time. But keeping them open would require negative energy, which brings us back to the not in your garage problem. So, while our current understanding of physics doesn't completely rule out time travel, it suggests that if possible, it's going to take some serious technological advances to achieve. But hey, this is all sci-fi what if, so let's assume we've cracked that particular nut. Welcome to Chronopolis, life in a time-traveling society. Okay, so we've somehow mastered time travel. What does this mean for society? Let's paint a picture of daily life in our hypothetical time-hopping utopia, or is it a dystopia? You decide. 1. The end of FOMO. Missed that concert? No worries. Just hop back and catch it next week or last century? The fear of missing out becomes a thing of the past, or is it the future? Time travel grammar is tricky. 2. Education revolution. History class just got a whole lot more interesting. Today, kids, we're taking a field trip to ancient Rome. Don't forget your togas, and please, no spoilers about the fall of the empire. 3. The ultimate fact-checked conspiracy theories. Archaeological mysteries? Well, we'll just zip back and see for yourself. Though, be prepared for some major historical figures to be seriously annoyed by all the tourists. 4. Medical miracles. Imagine being able to travel to the future for a cure, then return to administer it in your own time. Diseases could be eradicated before they even become a problem. 5. The job market time warp. 5 years of experience required takes on a whole new meaning when you can literally go get that experience and be back in time for the interview. 6. Temporal tourism. Forget beach resorts and ski lodges. How about a weekend in the Renaissance, or even a quick trip to see how the Earth formed. Just remember your sunscreen. That primordial atmosphere is a killer. 7. Relationship complications. It's not you, it's me, from the future. We need to break up now to prevent the collapse of the space-time continuum. Sorry. But it's not all fun and paradoxes. A world with commonplace time travel would face some serious challenges. The paradox police, keeping the timeline safe. With great power comes great responsibility, and time travel is no exception. In our time-hopping society, we'd need some serious safeguards to prevent well-meaning or, well, not so well-meaning travelers from royally messing up the timeline. Enter the Paradox Police, the coolest and most headache-inducing law enforcement agency ever conceived. Their job? To maintain the integrity of the timeline and prevent temporal criminals from altering history for personal gain. Here are some of the laws that they might enforce. 1. The grandfather clause. No killing your ancestors before they have kids. Seems obvious, but you'd be surprised at how many people need reminding. 2. The butterfly effect ban. No squashing prehistoric butterflies, no matter how annoying they are. Because small changes can have big consequences. 3. The future information embargo. No bringing back future tech or information that could drastically alter the course of history. Sorry, no cheat sheets for the stock market. The temporal prime directive. A little nod to Star Trek here. No interfering with natural development of less temporally advanced societies. 5. The paradox prevention protocol. If you do create a paradox, you're responsible for fixing it. Hope you paid attention in those quantum mechanics classes. But even with these laws in place, enforcing them would be a nightmare. How do you arrest someone who can simply jump to another time? How do you gather evidence for a crime that technically hasn't happened yet, or happened centuries ago? The ripple effect, unintended consequences. Even if we manage to prevent major paradoxes, the mere existence of time travel would have far-reaching consequences for society, economics, and even our concept of free will. 1. Economic upheaval. How do you value anything when someone could go back in time and flood the market? The concept of scarcity goes out the window when you have all time to draw resources from. 2. The end of surprises. With people constantly popping in from the future, could anything ever truly be unexpected? Spoiler culture would reach epic proportions. 3. Legal nightmares. Your Honor, I couldn't have committed the crime. I have an alibi from next Tuesday. Time travel would turn the justice system on its head. 4. Identity crisis. If there are multiple versions of you from different times running around, which is the real you? The philosophical implications are mind-bending. The ultimate procrastination tool. Why do today what you can put off until literally forever? The temptation to always choose later could bring productivity to a standstill. 6. Information overload. With access to all of human knowledge, past, present, and future, how do we decide what's important to learn or remember? 7. The death of death. If you can always jump into a future with better medical technology, does anyone ever really die? And what does that mean for our understanding of life and its value? Closing thoughts. Would we ever want this? As we wrap up our temporal tour, let's consider, in a world where time travel is commonplace, would we be happier? More fulfilled? Or would we lose something essential about the human experience? The beauty of life often lies in its unpredictability and the growth that comes from facing the unknown. If we could always change our past mistakes, or peek at our future, would we lose our ability to live and appreciate the present? Moreover, the immense responsibility of safeguarding the timeline might prove too much for us mere mortals to handle. Perhaps the true fiction in time travel fiction isn't the time travel itself, but the idea that we can resist the temptation to meddle. Oh, dear viewers, as we return to our own time-lapse reality, I leave you with this question. If you had access to time travel, would you use it? If so, when would you go? What would you do? And could you resist the urge to change everything? That's all for this episode of All Sci-Fi What If? And remember, the future is what you make it, unless somebody's already been there and messed it up. Until next time, keep imagining the impossible.